Hey guys, welcome to the stream. Another day, another stream. Here we go. So yesterday I said we were gonna watch the Ghost of Yotei gameplay deep dive. So let's take a look at that. And once again, I have sound coming out of some. It's stupid quick. The kick stream preview for some reason starts unmuted. The Twitch one doesn't. One starts muted as it should. I don't know why that is. But yeah, uh, we're gonna start. So today we're gonna be talking about video games, drama, and maybe some other stuff. We'll see. And before that, I do have to go over here to my live streaming and change this title to let's see what do I have. But what okay. So this is PlayStation's big exclusive. I skip ahead to live. This is PlayStation's big exclusive, and this year, aside from that and Death Stranding 2, which we talked about yesterday, pretty good game, but not for everybody. Um, and let's see how. Let's see what PlayStation has got cooked up for us. I am not picking up this game yet. I will wait for it to come to PC, as I do. 'Cause it's just weird now, I got a PS5, right near launch, like 3 months after launch, and I played Demon Souls and um, some of the other games that were launch games. Let's see, Marvel Spider-Man, Miles Morales, stuff like that. And then everything just like Sony around that same time was like, hey, what if we just put all our games on PC, which is great. I think that game should be everywhere. I'm kind of done. It's not like it was during like I don't know, the Nintendo Entertainment System in the 1985 and or 1988 or whatever. I'm trying to like put in like when the Master System came out. I don't remember exactly, but I think the Master System came out a little bit later. It's not like it's the NES versus Master System, and then like Super Nintendo versus Genesis, or N64 versus PlayStation, where they're both very different machines and did things differently. Like the N64 had cartridges, man. Like they had like freaking cartridges, like it's a Super Nintendo, and the PlayStation 1 brought freaking CDs, and that was very different. Right. On the one hand, the Nintendo 64 loaded games super fast, right? On the other hand, the PlayStation loaded them slow, but you could keep a lot of like data in that CD, so they could put like stuff like FMV, like full motion video, you know. So it's like there was a big difference between the platforms and what games it could have. Some games flat out that were on PS1, you just couldn't get them to be on Nintendo 64, and vice versa, right? Um, and it's just not that interesting these days. The Xbox Series X and the PS5 are basically the same thing. It's the same console. Games run exactly the same. Like the CPU and stuff are made by the same company. The GPU is the same, basically the same GPU, just slightly modified. One is a little bigger, another one's a little smaller. One clocks up a little bit higher, the other one a little bit less. It's nothing crazy. So all the games look the same. And so it's like, what's the point anymore? What's this? This is not like a big drive, right? So why not just play it on PC? If everything's coming to PC and if everything's coming to every platform, why not just play it on PC where you can have theoretically a much faster CPU, a better graphics card? I mean, if you buy a 5060 for $299 right now, you are beating the crap out of a PS5 in raw horsepower, right? So like what's I don't know. It's just like either you game on consoles or you're multi-platform. And if you're a multi-platform gamer, you probably have a PC. Why not just game there? If it's already coming to PC, why not wait? It's gonna be the best experience anyway. Like look at Forbidden West. I played Forbidden West. Uh I played that at launch when it came out on PS5. And I played some hours of it. Like less than 10 hours. And I was just like, I'm good. This is great. I had fun. Can't wait to play it on PC once it comes out for real on PC. Because I knew it was coming to PC because the first one was already on PC. And that's exactly what I did. And guess what? I don't regret it at all. I played it a little bit. I got in the day one like fever, and then I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna waste my time. I'll just play the rest of it, the full experience on PC, where I'll be able to play at like, freaking 200 FPS and whatever. Well, the PS5 is at 60 at most. Looking better, right? So, it just isn't what it used to be. It isn't what it used to be. It's not the PS1 and Nintendo 64 days. And that's fine. Like, if you want a game on PlayStation, again, I have a PS5, I have a Series X, like, if you want a game on those, that's fine. I think they're great machines, but like, it isn't what it used to be. So we're going to be taking a look at Ghost of Yotei here. This is the gameplay deep dive, and let's see what Sony has in store for us. Before that, we're going to hit BS here. Start. Okay, perfect. And we are good to go. 4K. Put it so it's not auto. Right. Full screen. Right. Let's go.
Hello everyone, this is Jason Connell and Nate Fox from Sucker Punch Productions. Ghost of Tsushima was an honor to be a part of, and today Nate and I get to share more about our next game, Ghost of Yotei. We'll be sharing how we've crafted the game around exploration while keeping Atsu's tale of vengeance front and center. We'll also talk about ghost combat and how it's evolved, and we'll introduce for the first time some new special modes of play. But let's start things off first by talking about a Japanese folk legend, the Onryo.
The people of Ezo believe Atsu is an Onryo, a wrathful ghost bent on revenge. And they're half right. Atsu doesn't care if she lives or dies, so long as she can punish the Yotei Six, a ruthless gang who slaughtered her family. After 16 years in the South, she's returned home to put their spirits to rest. It's warm memories of her family that propel her forward. When Atsu returns to her childhood home, with the push of a button, you can experience those cherished times.
That's pretty cool with the push of a button. You can flip back.
By giving you the freedom to explore Atsu's past, the wound of her loss becomes personal. It's that pain that pushes her forward. Hunting down the Yotei Six.
And you can tell, by the way, like, if you remember the first Ghost of Tsushima, the faces in most of the characters looked like crap. Like, they look terrible. Sometimes, like, some of the random villagers would look like their faces are, like, running on a PS2. So I can see that maybe they did some work on that. But you can also kind of tell that the game also looks very similar. There's improvements, but it's not a dramatic thing. Like, the difference between Horizon Zero Dawn, the first Horizon, and Horizon Forbidden West, the second one. Horizon Forbidden West is gorgeous. Like, it's still one of the best looking PS5 games today. And this doesn't look as good. So it looks like maybe graphics wasn't the focus on this one as much.
Hunting down the Yotei Six is a near impossible task. She'll face 1,000 blades. But the Onryo is relentless. And with each victory, the ghost story around her grows.
Yeah, you could tell the game is running at a high resolution too. It looks sharper.
Ghost of Yotei focuses on player freedom more than any game Sucker Punch has ever made.
Really?
But it's also a game that, at its heart, is inspired by so many of our favorite wandering samurai films.
Yeah,
So
like
let's
the
start
first one.
off by talking about exploration at the edge of
That
Japan.
looks nice. That looks nice.
We-
One of my biggest problems
Exploration.
with games forever, man, since like the PS2 era. Shoot, the N64 and like the Nintendo 64, there were so many games where like it's like this, right? You can't see as far, and there's like a giant fog that's like, I don't know, 6 feet away from you that you can't see past because the N64 couldn't render. You know, it's this is all it could do at the time, right? And with PS2, it got better, but it's still you still had it, and with PS3, you still had this issue. So, I was really hoping when the PS5 was first announced that we'll be able to see stuff like grass rendered out all the way into the distance. Because even on PS4 games, you could tell that there's like grass that's rendered up to here, and then after that point, everything else is barren. Is barren. Like there'll be green on the floor, but it's like they just colored the floor green. It's like a texture. It's not actual grass. So this looks nice. It's kind of hard to tell with YouTube compression and all that how far it all goes, but it's nice.
At the edge of Japan. We all have different playstyles, so we set out to make an open world game that lets you drive your own experiences. Whether that's your curiosity to wonder, your thirst for combat, or a deep desire to stay focused on the story. As you explore, there's an underlying clue system that invites you to new adventures in new areas of the game that could be appealing to you. If you interrogate an enemy, choosing to ask about the Oni, you could uncover a landscape scarred by fire with more bold
So it's like side
samurai-like enemies
quests.
to fight and abilities for Atsu
But
to
you
learn.
get them when you interrogate an
Or
enemy.
if you ask about the Kitsune, might lead you to an area filled with snow and deception, enemies that ambush you, and new ninja-like tactics to
You
study.
know, that's not that crazy to be honest.
Atsu draws cards for each clue to keep track of all available adventures. The more you play,
So like the map just fills up. The map just fills up with stuff for you to do when you're about to kill an enemy, and then you choose to interrogate them. And when you interrogate them, you can ask about a certain activity on the map. That's not that crazy, but I mean that's a different way of doing it, I suppose. Better than having like those boards where you just walk up to town and there's like a board of like a bounty board or whatever. You just pick it up from there.
the more the game unfolds for you. As she makes progress against the Yotei 6, her legend as the Onryo grows.
It's her.
Oh my god.
Bounty will
The
go up,
woman samurai.
drawing the attention of deadlier foes.
Are you lost?
I'm looking for some old friends. The Yotei 6.
Show her the door.
See, this is one of those things that people have
There is a
been
hefty price on
people have been kind of, I don't know, I think that people are getting like girl boss fatigue, where like you have these kind of, and you know it's people that are a lot more, if you know where these places are, like I believe the studio's in California, it's in big city California, and you know how those people are. They love progressive ideals, right? And progressive politics, right? And so stuff like, hey, we need more representation of this kinds of people, like or somebody who's this kind of sex, that's big over there. They really care about that stuff, right? The problem is that most big studios are located in these big liberal cities. All you need to do is look up Naughty Dog, right? Look up, this studio, right? Pretty much most of the big PlayStation studios are located in these big liberal cities. What happens is that they hire these people that are graduating, like in California, from California universities, right, where they have huge progressive values, right? And so you get these people, and they all get bunched up, and they all have these similar views, and people who don't have those views get ostracized, right? So they don't really have much say. And then what ends up happening? You end up getting a game where the first game is you had a dude, he's a dude samurai, just like, your samurai films or whatever. Makes sense, right? All of a sudden, the second game is like, oh, we need to be a bit more progressive. Let's have a lady in it. You've seen it's a tale. I wouldn't say it's its oldest time, but it's as old as the last 10, 15 years. And some people are calling this game woke. And I don't know, like, in some ways it is, right? You know that the reason they have a female character is because they believe in this. Like there's no you know there's no other reason, right? These you have to think about who's making this game. Where are they located? Look at the voting demographics of people that are in the video game industry. How many people you think voted for Trump? Probably in like the 5% range, right? And so people that are voting for Kamala, right? They're voting for Democrats. They're living in California. They're living in a big part in a big city, California. So that's the most liberal places. I'm talking about top 1% liberal uh, values and in the political spectrum in the United States, right? Top 1%. And then you get people that are out there and they're in Louisiana and they're in like Texas and they're in, like Florida and they're in, in the center of the United States, and they get these games and they just say woke. Why? Why? Because the difference in culture between Louisiana and Oklahoma is vast compared to big city liberal California. It literally is the lay of the land. And I'm not saying it's bad. Everybody has their own different views and their own politics and all of that, and that's okay. Politics is like, it's like, it's like taste. It's just a taste. Oh, you think that strawberry is the best fruit in the world or the best taste, or if you like yogurt, oh, strawberry yogurt's the best one, and you're inevitably gonna have people that are like, no, orange is the best one, and some people are gonna say vanilla, right? And some other people are gonna say chocolate and whatever else, right? Everybody has their own take. It's the most natural thing. So it's not something to hate. It's just that when the industry is composed, the AAA industry is placed in these places, and they're all recruiting these kinds of people because those are the demographics of those areas of this creative industry. You're gonna get a lot of games that focus on progressive and liberal values. And then as a result, when people that are in middle America or in the rest of the United States, remember the United States voted for Trump. Trump won the popular vote. Remember that. Trump did not win the popular state vote in California. Surprise, surprise. Kamala won, right? So like California is divorced from the rest of the United States in that sense, right? But the rest of the United States is going to be buying games like these, and they're going to be looking at this and they're going to go, it's kind of woke, it's this or that, girl boss, blah 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 blah. I like female characters. I think they're cool, but it's really hard to deny when you think it all through. You know that these people are just kind of pushing the general agenda, right? This is not like these are a bunch of conservatives that are like, oh, we thought having a female character would be cool. It's not that. It's not that at all. And that's okay if you're into that, but don't try to hide it. A lot of people are upset that the game is not following the story of the previous character, and it's not a dude, and you have this female warrior, and this female warrior is entering this bar, and she's so strong, right? This woman probably weighs like 100 pounds. This guy probably weighs like 180 pounds. She's gonna be beating the crap out. It's at some point it's kind of like, it's not a fantasy story too, so it's not even like, it's not like this is what do you call it, near automata or something like that, right? This is a human female, and she's holding these big blades and all of this stuff. It just comes off a bit. It's just like when you put it all together, right? And the reasons why, it just comes off as political talking down to people, right? It just comes off as somebody who's pushing instead of pushing a creative, instead of thinking about just the art, they're thinking about the cause. And to some people, that's okay. To Redditors love this. That's okay. But I understand people that are very critical of this or are not excited. And then the other thing is that the lady, I mean, I think that Asian ladies are very pretty. So I think that she's pretty, but she's not haughty. She's not like, somebody like, I don't know. It's just somebody who really stands out. She doesn't look like Samus. Okay. Samus in like Super Smash Brothers 4. Let's just say she does not have that. She doesn't look like Palutena in Smash Brothers 4. Okay. She doesn't look like Peach. She doesn't look like Rosalina. Right? Like, she doesn't look like the girl from Xenoblade 2. I forget her name. Both of them. The red one and the yellow one and the blonde one. It's not that. And you know why? Because these people have this like this like, oh, you don't want to promote the male gaze because it's like feminist theory, right? It's damaging towards women, right? You don't want to encourage men to be like, women are not to be objectified. All of this and that, right? It's tired. So I think the game looks cool, but like it's hard to deny what is going on here. It's the same old shit from the same old people, frankly.
There is a hefty price on Atsu's head. Now,
Hey Evelyn, nice to see you. Welcome to today's stream.
Atsu can also hunt down her own bounties that bring her all around the land. This
There's
is
the
a
bounty
lucrative
board.
way to make some money to fuel her vengeance quest.
See, I like the way the grass looks. The grass density is more. I like that. We're gonna watch this Ghost of Yotei gameplay preview, and after that, it's probably gonna be drama with Hassan and stuff.
You're not of Clan Eguchi. You're here for my bounty.
And the combat looks similar to the last one. The last one had that rock paper scissors stance thing. See, and you can tell if you look at the rocks, you can tell compared to like Unreal Engine 5 games, and just addressing the graphics argument. The rocks look very much like that PS4 level quality. Like they look simpler in shape. They don't look like they have as much density. Obviously, there's nothing like Unreal Engine 5's nanite that like makes geometry like really scalable, right? And you're able to get really close, and it like has like the LODs where the level of detail changes dynamically and all that. It doesn't have that, but they also, even up close, it doesn't look that good, right? So you can tell that I don't think the graphics. This game seems very iterative. It doesn't seem like the graphics was like a big focus for them to improve, considering just how much powerful the PS5 is over the PS4. Cool. By the way, do you think the USA elections was rigged? Do you mean, what's your opinion on it? Do you mean in 2020 or you mean 2024? Like the president elections? If you mean 2020, I'm open to ideas. Like I'm generally a skeptic about everything, but like I'm open. I was of the belief that like, hey, if something, I mean, there's always some degree of fraud. There's always some degree of fraud. Always in elections. That's just, you can't avoid that. But I was of the mind that like, hey, if you if Trump thinks that they stole the election in 2020, like they say, extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. So get that extraordinary evidence, and then we'll keep talking, right? And that never seemed to happen. It didn't seem like there was evidence that there was like widespread fraud. It just seemed like he lost, right? And so that's that. So 24, 24. No, I don't really think that anything really crazy happened in the presidential elections in 2024. It just seemed like Kamala just like crumbled. She just crumbled, and you could tell why in hindsight. Like there was a report that came out recently talking about that. There's this. Okay, so this is kind of like pretty bombshell, right? There's this idea that the more people that vote, because not everybody votes, right? But the more people that vote, the more Democrats are going to win. The more of that share that is going to be for Democrats. Because the idea is that most people live in cities. People that live in cities are more likely to vote Democrat because of the dynamics of living in a city, right? Living in a city, there's not as much freedom. You have to do a lot more compromise. Everybody's packed together. And all of that means that there needs to be a lot more sort of law and order, and a lot more limitations, and a lot more cohesiveness, right? It's not as wild as living in a rural place, and that lends itself a lot more towards Democrat sort of policies. And so the idea is that if people in the cities just went more to vote, Democrats would win more or win a bigger percentage of the vote. And this has been conventional wisdom forever. Like this has always been the idea. It's like why did Democrats lose in a particular election? Oh, it's because enough people didn't go vote. Well, there was just a big kind of study that was done on all the information. It just came out now, and this was on CNN, and the conclusion was that if everybody would have gone to vote, Trump would have won the 2024 presidential elections even harder than he won, which is just obscene, right? It just completely flipped. Like it's something, obviously something changed. Part of it is the idea that Trump built a very powerful coalition of working class people. The working class people abandoned the Democrats and they moved towards Trump because Trump was saying stuff like, oh, we're going to bring back jobs. We're going to bring back manufacturing. Democrats don't really care about you. There was that one ad that was like, Democrats care about they, them. I care about you, or something like that. And that was super effective because obviously Democrats are very big on like trans ideology and stuff like that. And that all that stuff hurt the Democrats. And then the other thing is that Kamala was just not as likable. She didn't have as much time to build her runway, right? To build her campaign. And she wasn't selected in a primary, right? All of this just kind of blew up on their faces. Things would have been better if Biden had gotten out of this race sooner. If he would have gone like in 2023, he would have been like, I'm not running for president. We're gonna need to hold a primary. You guys figure that out in 2024. Things would have gone better for the Democrats. I still don't think they would have won though. I still think that there was too much. They were gonna have the same problem that Kamala had, which is differentiating themselves from Biden. How are you as a Democrat gonna be dramatically different than Biden? Like where Democrats say that Gavin Newsom from California, right, governor of California went in and he's like, hey, I'm gonna be the one who's gonna be running for president in 2024. And he was one of the front runners, right? The other one was I think it was the governor of Pennsylvania, but he was Jewish, so he got in a lot of trouble because the whole anti-Jew stuff that was going on because of the Gaza and Israel thing at the time. So let's say that Gavin Newsom would have been the guy, right? How is Gavin going to differentiate himself from Kamala and Biden, right? Think about the immigration issues that people grilled Biden so much that Trump won so hard on, right? On the immigration issue. If you look at Gavin's history, he's been very pro illegal immigrants and protecting illegal immigrants and having these sanctuary cities, right? So Gavin was not going to be able to come in 2024 and immediately do a 180 and say, actually, no, we're going to prosecute all of the illegals and we're going to kick them out. And even then, he would have lost a lot of Democrat support if he would have been anti-illegal immigration, right? And so the differentiating factor between Gavin and I forget the guy's name from Pennsylvania, these front runners, it wasn't big enough. And I think Trump would have been contrasting very hard, just like he did in the actual election, and people would have gone for Trump. So I think that Trump was going to win anyway. But I think they would have done better than Kamala because Trump stomped in 2024. He won every swing state. He won the popular vote, which is obscene for a Republican. To win the popular vote is extremely hard and very rare these days. So yeah, that's what I think about that. That's true. In the end, Kamala didn't do uh, as much as Trump before elections. Yeah, and then there was a bunch of factors. There was the stuff that Democrats didn't want to, and I don't think this would have changed under Gavin. They didn't want to go on podcasts that are like 3 hours long, because they don't want to. They want to kind of keep the Democrats have this big issue in being in like podcasts and stuff and being in interviews for a long time because it makes it a lot harder for them to kind of use their training. They're very focused on almost like, in a sense, the PR way of speaking. And Trump, as you know, is a very loose cannon, and he just kind of says whatever is on his mind. He's just kind of careless like that, and he just excels in that chaos. He thrives in it. So he can just ramble on like me. He can just ramble on for 3 hours. Like if you take a look at the Joe Rogan podcast that Trump did right before the election, that's just Trump rambling for 3 hours and Joe trying to guide him back to like the topic at hand, and then Trump immediately going in and rambling in another direction again, right? That's what he does. So I think that makes Trump look genuine, and it makes the Democrats look kind of fake. Like they have to be very practiced, and they have to be in this situation where like everything is controlled, these controlled environments, and oh, we'll only be there for an hour, and all of this and that. It just comes out, it comes off as inauthentic. Again, I'm not saying Democrats are bad or Republicans are good. It's just that that's the way the cookie crumbled in 2024.
Hidden in the world are altars of reflection. Finding one inspires Atsu and unlocks a new ability to help her on the journey ahead. They are fun to find on their own, but for a quicker route, you can always buy a traveler's map from the cartographer. Ghost of Yotei isn't going to rush you through anything. You can
I don't know what is it with all these games, and you saw that how she had the grappling hook, you know, over here, and it's like we're gonna put a grappling hook in the game, but the grappling hook only works in this one little predetermined area right there that has that one like red and white you know, string on it or whatever, the ribbons, whatever, and that's it. Like, it's just like, why even bother at that point? Wouldn't it give you like full control and just let you grapple onto anything? You know, it's just, I don't know, it's just like, it's like very half-assed.
journey ahead. They are fun to find on their own, but for a quicker route, you can always buy a traveler's map from the cartographer. Ghost.
Well, I don't know much about games, but Ghost of Tsushima is much better in graphics and physics. What do you think? Well, this is Ghost of Tsushima 2. This is the second one. It's called Ghost of Yotei. And Ghost of Tsushima did have good graphics for what it was. But you know, I just don't think that this game is as good looking as it could have been. It doesn't look like graphics was a priority in terms of improvement, because again, if you look at if Horizon 1 and Horizon 2 looks way better than this, and Horizon 2 came out in 2022. Yeah, 1 is a good game.
Of Yotei isn't going to rush you
See,
through
this looks
anything.
pretty. This area looks pretty aesthetically.
You can choose what motivates you most.
See, and you could tell. You could see it. You see? So you have this grass right there, and you have the flowers. But the grass stops right here, right there. And then the floor after that, there is no grass. There is no grass. And you go all the way to the distance, there's no grass. And then as she gets closer, there's going to be more grass that pops
But
out.
we think
I bet
the
that's
best
what's
way
going
to
to happen.
play is to simply pull out your spyglass, find
I
something
can't wait till that
interesting on
goes
the
away.
horizon,
Till when games
and enjoy
like
the ride.
fix that shit, and they just like you can just see off into the distance. See, there it is. See, you see how? Oh, I'm sorry. You see over here, there's grass that's about to spawn right there. That's the distance basically, where they have after. If you're not that close, you can't see the grass. If you're not close enough to it, there it is. You see, it spawns. I can't wait till games have gotten rid of that, and you just see grass all the way off into the distance. Games are gonna look so pretty. I used to play this game called Mountain Blade 1. Mountain Blade Warband. And in that game, you had this option in the settings where you could turn up the grass to like stretch way
The
far,
lands around Yotei
and it would make
are
your
vast.
computer lag. And I would do it
It's
anyways.
not about checking
I
it
would
all
play at
off,
like
it's about
30
engaging
FPS
in
with the grass
content that
all
gets
the
you
way up.
excited.
You know, just because I thought it looked so pretty.
Embrace that curiosity and let the wind guide you on your hunt.
Yeah. Yeah, this game definitely has a different look to it.
Ezo is a dangerous place. Atsu always wields a weapon. As for which, that's up to you.
The swords
Will
look
you
nice.
choose a katana, spear, a surigama, odachi, or dual swords? Each is uniquely effective against a particular enemy and has their own set of upgrades to discover and master.
One thing I don't understand is if they want the main character to be a lady, right? Why don't they make her look a little
Let's
bit
see how
stronger?
she uses these weapons.
Like you
in
can,
the
you can see
field.
that she has like these
Searching
small
for
arms.
leads on Lord
She's carrying like
Saito.
the odachi, which are like these 10-pound blades. And I know it's a video game, But you know,
The soldiers
it's
needed
still,
more.
it's not like this is fantasy.
Free
It would be
us.
cool if she looked a little bit
Look,
more,
she
I don't know,
steals our
sturdy.
crops while our family starve.
Atsu's no
That's cool.
samurai or ninja. No. She's a lone wolf mercenary who'll use every advantage, every dirty trick to win a fight.
Also, you can pick up weapons and throw them.
Combat has the feel of a classic samurai movie.
Yeah, I
Every
mean, you know, it
motion
looks
counts.
okay.
It's about lethal
Like
precision.
the combat looks okay. It doesn't look crazy. It looks very similar to the first one.
If an enemy swings hard, Atsu can lose her weapon. But if she's quick, she can disarm them.
You're dead.
Choose the right weapon for the job. To fight a massive enemy, her huge Odachi blade is best.
Man, that blade is like taller than she is. But that's probably what I play. I usually like using the big slow weapons.
He looks like the one in charge.
Tonight, we feast.
I mean, I'm a. So she looks strong, dude. Don't judge a book by their cover. Every woman is strong inside and outside. I'm a big realist, and and uh and I really like my biology. And women do not have. I hate to say it, but women do not have the skeletal density that men have. They do not have the upper body strength that men have. They do not have the torso length that men have, which is important for leverage and strength. They just don't have that, you know? And so like whenever they try to put women into like these like, oh yeah, they're just as strong as men, it just comes off as silly. But I'm not saying they can't do it. There's a lot of games that I like. Like I love Nier Automata, and that you play as a girl and in that game 2B, you know. But one thing that adds to that game is that 2B is an android. She's a robot. So it's kind of like, you know, it's hard. It's more, you can, it's not like it's a historical game. You play as a literal robot, you know? So it's not as serious. But this game is more of a historical game. So it just looks kind of silly. But you can also make the argument that Jin in the first Ghost of Tsushima, you know, he would fight guys that are way bigger than him and win, you know? So that's true too. It's just when it's a woman, it's especially when it's a lady that looks really skinny, you know? Ah, I'm not saying I won't give ladies a chance. I'm just saying, you know, there's some things. Like, for example, I'm not a like super mega tall guy. If I'm fighting a guy and he's 6'10", I'm gonna get my ass whooped. He's gonna have way longer arms than me. He's gonna have more leverage. His punches are literally gonna be able to outreach mine. Before my punch reaches his, he'll already be hitting me, right? And he'll have more strength. And that these are things that I can't argue. I can sit here and say, oh, oh yeah, I can totally beat a guy that's 6'10", you know, or I can beat him at basketball or whatever. But at the end of the day, this is biology, you know. You know that back in the day, we used to be like our ancestors were like little, like our ancestors used to be like 3 feet tall, and we were mostly prey. And you know what happened? Over time, females, our ladies, essentially chose men, the males that were bigger. And over time, the men that were bigger were the ones that reproduced, right? And so that means that the species started making babies that were slightly bigger. And slowly, we grew up to be 4 feet tall, and then 5 feet tall, and then 6 feet tall. And to this day, if you look at the way that women select their mates, they select mates that are generally taller than they are because that's inscribed in them, right? Because it turns out that bigger males are stronger and more capable, and they can protect the lady better whenever shit goes wrong. It's not that ladies didn't pick shorter men, they did too. It's just that the ladies that picked shorter men didn't get to reproduce as much and probably didn't get to survive as much and thrive as much as the ladies that picked bigger men. That's just the reality of life. Um, and I'm not a big fan of arguing against reality. But I think that for games like again, like Nier Automata and stuff, like you play Super Smash Brothers. I play Super Smash Brothers as all the ladies. I play all the characters. I don't have a problem with that because that's not a super serious game. It's not like Super Smash Bros. Is like history or anything like that. It just gets harder when it's a more historical game like this. It's like there's like this like that there's that term that is like suspension of disbelief. Um, that is harder to kind of like have your suspension of disbelief. Um, when the game is closer to reality, it's like an uncanny valley type thing. Like I sport Ghost 2 now. 2 is now much better. Girl power period. In the history, guys thought women are just for making kids, but now not anymore. I mean, I think it's much more complex than that. Because technically speaking, the ladies were the ones that stayed and took care of like everything. You know, back in the day, in the hunter gatherer days, they stayed in the village, right, and they took care of the whole place. And the guys will go on in long distance hunting because guys would hunt big game. And that's what guys were good at. That's why we needed our strong, big upper bodies because we were hunting big animals, right? Like mammoths way back in the day. And then we would go on these long distance traveling, which is where we developed our stamina, right? And then eventually we would come back and bring home the big game. But women would actually hunt. Women hunted all the time, but they hunted near the village and they hunted with the assistance of dogs and other, and just dogs really as hunting animals. Um, and and so it's not like women couldn't fight. It's not like women couldn't do things. It's just that men and women evolved to do different things because what made men was being good long distance hunters, right? And what made women good is the ability to give life, which is the most important thing of all. I don't know why ladies these days like they're so focused on trying to like be like men. It's like men were throwaway. Men are not that special. We were bred and we were born and we went out to war and we went out to the hunt and we died. And the best men were the ones that lived. Most men died. Most men didn't get to reproduce. Most men had terrible lives and horrible, like scary, brutal lives. And women were back home taking care of the kids and the safety. And then guess what? When um when the enemy tribe would show up to your village, they would kill all the men. They would kill all of the men, and the women they would let them live and take them with them as slaves or as like additional ladies to reproduce with or whatever. So even other tribes valued women because it's important to be able to make more humans. But men were just killed. Men were trash. Men are expendable, historically speaking. And I don't know why ladies would want to be expendable. But yeah, that's my rant on that.
Blades are great, but ranged weapons work too. And Atsu's got an arsenal.
But not anymore. Who have the guts to fish for some food, or men will be in charge. Um, I'm not sure what you mean. But yeah, yeah. I mean, everybody has their thing that they're good at, and that's okay.
Bounty hunter. A ghost.
Thrown weapons like kunai, bombs, or even blinding powder can give Atsu an edge. When enemies switch weapons, you'll have to adapt. Dual swords are best against spears.
This is okay. This is okay, but it's not. I don't know. It's no Sekiro, is what I say.
No more.
Tell me what you know about.
Well, you want the right to be expendable? That's admirable. Um, you know, you should start by signing up for the draft. Because I know that there's a lot of ladies that are feminists who want all the benefits that guys have, but then they don't want to sign up for the draft. So like, yeah, you can sign up to go to the army too. They want you there. But I wouldn't want that, honestly. I'd rather stay alive. Look at her. She kills tons of weak men. Yeah, yeah. That is true.
Atsu doesn't always fight alone. She'll meet several allies on her hunt, including a mysterious wolf.
That's cool. Can you fight with the wolf? I guess so.
Atsu can set up camp under the stars of Ezo. But she's not always alone.
Hey, friend. Share your fire with the traveling peddler?
What are you selling?
A mask said to be cursed with the unpredictable nature of its previous owner.
Camping under the stars is a great way to rest up, play your shamisen, or cook to ready for a fight ahead.
Does playing the
It's also designed to
instrument
help
do
bring
anything?
important characters and upgrades
Does it give you any
straight
benefits?
to you. In fact, in place of the journal menu from Ghost of Tsushima, we've opted for a more character-driven way of managing allies and vendors you meet in Ezo. Over time, Atsu grows to have her own wolf pack.
Wow.
And here, you can keep track of when a sensei might have a weapon skill for you, or when a vendor has something unique to sell.
Interesting.
Managing upgrades, resources, when to buy what, can be a burden in a big open-world game.
They haven't showed
At
any
campsites,
villages.
Members of your wolf pack can catch up
Like
with
a-
you,
like a
offering
hub?
upgrades and unique items. This helps ensure you have every opportunity to upgrade and prepare for Atsu's vengeance quest ahead. You don't have to leave where you're exploring. The game comes to you.
While exploring Ezo, you'll discover all sorts of new armor.
Oh, there it
charms,
is. This looks like a city type thing.
perfect for building up Atsu around your chosen playstyle. Are you stealth, ranged, or melee focused? Find and combine the pieces that are just right for you. And of course, customize the look of your armor and weapons to make sure
Okay,
that your
this
version
looks
of
that
Atsu
looks stupid.
looks and fights just the way you want.
That one looks cool. And some of them look cool. Some of them look This is something the first Ghost
The score
was really
of
good
Ghost
at.
of Yotei
The music was
is
pretty
incredibly special to us.
cool. Oh, dude, I love those drums.
Our
This sounds so
amazing
badass.
composer, Toma Otoa, has created a mashup of Eastern instrumentation with Western flavors, brought to life
Nice.
through an exciting collaboration of many talented artists.
でこうダウンビートまで
Is that how they make music? That's cool. Just mimic it with your
If you
like
like
mouth.
what you heard, we're releasing 2 tracks featured in today's State of Play on your favorite streaming service immediately after the show.
Hey, this looks nice. That's very cool. I like that kind of music.
The digital photography community for Ghost
Women looks always cool. Whatever they wear, they look clean and cool. I mean, yeah. Yeah. I think in video games, this is mostly true.
of Tsushima is incredible. We're happy to have photo mode back in Ghost of Yotei
This
and
is
look
lame.
forward to seeing photos from your journey.
I mean, oh
across
wow,
Ezo.
photo mode. That's whatever. Pretty much every game has that these days.
We want playing through Ghost of Yotei to feel like stepping inside of your favorite classic samurai films. So, from the beginning of the game, we're happy to offer a full Japanese voice track with full lip sync that you can play with subtitles.
I like this.
誰だてめえ
I am a bit of a weave, so I am totally cool. I'll probably play it with Japanese subtitles.
生きてたか狼の
I played
姫
Neo in Japanese as well.
一人残らず息の根止めたと思ったまた会えたな刀鍛冶の娘
Uh-oh.
To take the feeling of stepping into a classic samurai cinema experience one step further, we are honored to once again partner with acclaimed director Akira Kurosawa's estate for Kurosawa Mode, which emulates his classic black and white
That
films.
looks nice. You know, this is kind of cool, but I don't know. It also looks kind of tacky. Like the game wasn't first made to look like this, you know? They just kind of put it on.
For Ghosts of
In just video games? What are you talking about? Not in just video games. All the time, I guess. All the time.
Yotei, we wanted to celebrate two other influential directors who have had an impact on the genre as a whole. First, we've partnered with Takeshi Miike, director of 13 Assassins, for a mode that puts the camera closer during combat for a more intense, raw experience along with increased mud and blood splatter.
Oh, that's cool. Now I like
Lastly,
that.
we've partnered with the director of Samurai Champloo, Shinichiro Watanabe.
Oh.
Turn this mode on to listen to some original lo-fi tracks directed by
Samurai
Watanabe
Champloo
himself.
was so good. Dude, wow, this sucks. So like, you know, like what is it, Nujabes? Nujabes was, I think he was the original composer, or at least somebody that was making music for Samurai Champloo, and he like made some of the key music. And man, those songs were so fucking good. And then he ended up dying in a car accident. And like, when was this? Like 2013? I think he was killed in a crash. Bro, this fucking sucked. Everybody was so upset because he was so talented. And now it's like they do this, and it's like, you know, that they would have gotten him. They would have had him. He would have been the guy. And it's like, oh, they can't have him. That's sad. So many horses.
There's so many ways to make your Ghost of Yotei playthrough your own. But no matter how you play, here's one way to experience Ghost of Yotei that is sure to be special.
Multiplayer? Are they gonna put multiplayer from the beginning? The last one, they added it on later. Oh no, this is the controller? They've been doing this, yeah, they've been doing this a lot. They got like a controller for every new game, every first party Sony game. So October 2nd. I like the golden one. The golden one looks cool. It's the PS5 plates.
Today, you've got a glimpse into Atsu's hunt for the Yotei 6. Forge your own path while discovering the secrets of Ezo.
I don't know, that grappling hook stuff is just...
To survive, you'll need to master a variety of weapons, using lethal
Let me
precision
grapple
to
wherever I
overcome the
want.
odds and take revenge as the Onryo.
Yeah, that
Ghost
mask is
of
cool.
Yotei comes out on October 2nd. Thank you so much for watching.
Yeah, so that's not too far away from now. October. It's early in October, too. Oh, man, I can't wait till, like, I'm telling you, I can't wait till the grass, like, extends all the way out, dude. Maybe we're gonna have to wait for, like, PlayStation 7 or some shit. I thought games would have more of that with PS5, and I'm actually disappointed that, you know, we're still with this, like, grass only reaches up to, like, this little spot, and then the rest is just a flat texture on the ground. Yeah, I mean, the game looks fine. It looks very, what is this? Did it just restart? It looks iterative, you know?
When enemies switch weapons, you'll have to adapt. Dual swords are best against spears.
It looks iterative. It kind of looks like an evolution of the first game. It doesn't look very dramatic. It kind of feels a little bit like, I don't know, like Assassin's Creed Valhalla to Odyssey, where it's like very similar, kind of like the same game in many ways, but it's like in a different setting, except that one of them was in like ancient Greece, and then the other one was in like, you know, like fucking Viking times. So even that was more different because this is still Japan. That's interesting. It makes me think like, are they gonna is the Ghost is Ghost 3 the third game? Is that also gonna be in Japan? Is it always a Japanese type thing? I don't know. But yeah, it looks fine. I just I don't know. I wish there was something more novel. It's very reminiscent of Assassin's Creed Shadows, the one that's in Japan, but like without the ray tracing. We'll see which one's the better game. Did you see that women can speak Japanese? I saw that. Yeah, I heard there's a lot of Japanese women. Um, yeah, so that's Ghost of Yotei. It looks cool. I will be waiting. I'm not gonna be getting this game. I will be waiting until it comes to PC because why not? You know, please don't kill my horse. Can't wait to see the new Dosho or Dushu. Getting revenge while having lo-fi music playing in the background is a different level. The Watanabe collaboration was not. Yeah, I did not expect that. I would want to play in that like the gore mode where they have all the blood. That looks cool. I absolutely love the fact that Ghost of Tsushima felt like a piece of art. Great to see that this focus has continued. Very blue-eyed samurai vibes. Yeah. Yeah, I'm curious to see how like this game is gonna like in terms of reviews. Is it gonna get better reviews than the first one? Because like, let me put this here. Ghost of Tsushima. That was obviously a new IP. These guys used to make Infamous or Infamous. Forgot how to pronounce that. Ghost of Tsushima. Metacritic. No, you know what? Let's just go to OpenCritic. Kind of tired of Metacritic. Let's see what we got here. And that is it got an 84 critic average. Okay. That's not as high as I expected. Okay, let's take a look at the Metacritic, right? Because this that also includes the PC version. So the Metacritic is going to be only the and probably the I don't know if it includes the PS5 whatever the hell the $10 upgrade thing. So let's see. How was this? This was an 83. Oh, okay. So yeah, it was pretty close. Yeah, so not so good. Not so high a score from critics. So this is definitely going to score higher. I see this being an 88, probably, maybe 89. But yeah, would be real interesting if it comes out and it's like a 92. Like that's that's really good. That's a huge improvement over the first one. We'll have to see. Let's see here. So, um, okay. All right. So that's that. And new Fallout game leaked. Oh yeah, that's Fallout 3 remastered. So yeah, there. So let's see. I wanted to take a look. Which one is the new one? Is it this one? Hassan thinks he's a victim. Um, there's this. Typical people he's considering. I want to take a look at this because this whole Epstein thing has been kind of crazy. It's been a big disappointment that Trump has not. He didn't. He says that he's gonna release the um, Epstein list, and then he doesn't. You know, he says, "Oh, there's nothing to see here. Like, you know, we're only going to release information that was previously released anyway." And yeah, nothing to see. Let's move on. So let's see what's going on here.
All right, this breaking news. Sources tell CNN that Deputy FBI Director Dan Bongino has told people that he's considering resigning amid a major clash between the FBI and DOJ over the continued fallout from the release or lack thereof of the Jeffrey Epstein memo. Joining us right now in files, joining us right now on the phone is CNN.
So there's like an inner war between the Department of Justice and the FBI. And it sounds to me like the Department of Justice is the one. I mean, that's the way that they framed it. It sounds to me like the Department of Justice is the one that doesn't want to release the files, whatever secret files remain, right? And the FBI is the one that's like, hey, why not just release this? And there's a clash between the two. And so now this guy's considering he's the deputy director of the FBI. So I think he's like second in command of the FBI. And he's looking to leave. He's like, maybe I'm going to retire because I can't, you know, this is a bunch of bullshit. Right? So that's kind of crazy.
And anchor-in-chief White House correspondent Caitlin Collins. Caitlin, what more are you learning?
Yeah, Fred, it remains to be seen if he actually follows through with what he has told colleagues. But what we do know is that Dan Bongino has told people he is considering resigning as the deputy director of the FBI over the fallout that has continued ever since this memo was released last Sunday. The anger inside the MAGA base has only continued to grow.
And if you look at his face when he did that, there was it was like a press conference where it was him and the director of the FBI. I think his name is Kash Patel. And Kash was talking and the camera was facing both of them, but at an angle. And this dude's face, bro, he looked like he had seen a ghost. He was just like he wasn't even there, dude. Like he just looked like, man, he looked like he had gotten in trouble. Like his parents, like he found out his parents were coming home early. You know, like his parents left him at home. They're like, hey, we're going to be gone away for the weekend. Don't throw any parties. Don't do anything crazy. And like he throws the party and then he finds out his parents are coming home early and he's like, that's how he looked, man. Like he knew something. And now that this is coming out here that he's actually thinking of resigning, that sounds like a big fucking deal. Cause it's like, I guess this is like, he can't, like, this is messing with his conscience, right? Like, he just doesn't agree with this. He's not going to be serving under this type of cover-up.
Instead of going away, as some officials inside hoped it would. And now our colleagues, along with Christian Holmes, Tanner Rabinowitz, and Evan Perez, we're hearing that he's considering resigning after they had this heated confrontation with the Attorney General Pam Bondi over the handling of this earlier this week. And basically there was a meeting at the White House where the FBI Director, Kash Patel, was there, the White House Chief of Staff, Susie Wiles. They were questioned about whether they were part of a story, that there was basically some infighting over how this came out, and this memo that said
it was around this here. He was wearing this suit, I believe.
We're not going to be releasing any more information related to Jeffrey Epstein. And I should note that we are told Bongino denied leaking any story to this outlet that it was reported on. But there has been a lot of fighting between Attorney General Pam Bondi specifically and the leadership over at the FBI over who's to blame in this situation. I think the context here is obvious.
I mean, obviously the person that's to blame is Trump because he's the one that's, you know, yelling out the orders. Clearly Trump is the one. Now, maybe there's like something that got messed up in terms of execution, but I mean, it's hard to imagine how bad, like how much can this be messed up when it seemed like it was Trump that made everything worse. When he was at that press conference, it looked like they were in the White House. Pam Bondi was there. One of the reporters asked him the question of like, hey man, can you tell us about like the whole Epstein thing? Like, are you going to release more information? Because it doesn't feel like the information you released is enough. And Trump says, Pam is going to answer the question. Pam Bondi's about to answer the question. And then Trump just goes, can I? Right? And he like interrupts her. And he says, look, when are you guys going to stop asking. Like, this Epstein thing was forever ago. When are you guys gonna, like, do you guys still care about Epstein? Like, we got to deal with these Texas floods and all this ice shit and all this and that. Like, we're talking about Epstein. Like, that doesn't matter anymore, right? And it's like, that's the worst thing he could have said, because it makes him look so incriminating. Like, it's like incriminating, right? Because he's coming off as somebody who's essentially trying to bury everything, you know, trying to like slip it all under like the table or whatever. Like, there's nothing to see here, guys. Everything is fine. By the way, have you seen these Texas floods? Have you seen the shit situation over there with ice? We got more important things to do. Stop asking about Epstein. Who would want, just think about it. Who would want to not be asked about the Epstein files? Somebody who has something to hide. That's who. So it was a bad look. And, you know, Trump is very kind of like, he's kind of like this. He just kind of says shit without thinking it. But it did not make anything any better. If I were him and I knew that this shit was bad, like, I mean, some people are saying, oh, Trump is on the list. That's what it is. I don't even know that Trump is on the list. I think that it's more like there's probably people there who it would be very problematic for the government, Trump, his allies, somebody to release this information. Because if you think about it, if it was just like Trump was there, when Biden was trying to send Trump to jail, when they had like 34 charges or whatever it was, and he had been convicted of all this stuff, why didn't Biden just come out and say, oh, and by the way, he was like fucking in like Epstein's pedo island? Why didn't he? Why? Right? They had it right there. They had the card to play and they didn't play it. So that says to me that something else is going on here.
Dan Bongino, Cash Patel, they came from this MAGA world where they themselves had pushed a lot of questions about the so-called client list that Epstein had beforehand. And now the MAGA base is just...
And now they look like fucking clowns. Because like you have Cash Patel in like Joe Rogan interviews and whatever saying, oh yeah, man, why hasn't Biden released the list? It's because they're hiding something. That if we win, the first day that I'm in there, I'm going to release all the details. Then they win. And then like Trump's like, oh, well, you know, we said that we were going to release it on the first day, but actually, you know, we got to process the information. So it's going to be later. We're going to release it later. And then later happens, you know, and then they say, there's nothing to see. There are no files. There was no list. Who the hell's supposed to believe that? Like, who's going to fall for this? Of course people are fucking mad. Especially people that voted for this and thought, hey, I'm voting for Trump because he's going to release the Epstein files. Like, what a mess, dude. What a shit show.
Not pleased or satisfied with what they've said in this memo that came out unsigned from the Justice Department and the FBI on Sunday night. So what we are told is Dan Bongino did not show up to work today, that he is essentially not there out of protest. But whether or not he actually follows through on this still remains to be seen. We're still reporting that out. But it just speaks to the backlash that the White House is very much feeling and understanding after this memo came out, despite President Trump the other day in the cabinet room asking, you know, who still cares about this? One thing we know is the MAGA base certainly does.
Yes.
All right, Caitlin Collins, thanks so much for that. We'll check back with you.
And I don't think it's just the MAGA base. I think people in general think that it would be a good thing for this to come out. So what are they hiding?
Learn more. CNN senior justice correspondent Evan Perez is also with us. And so, Evan, is it your understanding that if Bongino were to resign, it's as a result of the infighting, including with the AG, Pam Bondi, or is it mostly over the disappointment of these Epstein files either not existing or not being released?
That's an important distinction.
Well, look, I think Fred, there's a larger issue here, and I think, you know, if you look at Dan Bongino, he was a very successful podcaster. He had a very big following online,
and he was massively critical of Biden. He too, Dan too. It wasn't just Cash. Also, Dan was very critical of them not releasing the files and saying, "What are they hiding? What are they hiding?" So it's like, what are you hiding now, Dan?
Certainly very financially successful with his podcast that was a very, very strong appeal inside MAGA world. And this job really hasn't been, I think, very much fun. And if you've seen him doing some of his interviews in right-leaning media and conservative media, he has said as much. He has said that this job is taking a toll on his life, on his personal life, with his family.
I bet.
He's having to essentially be separated from them while he's here in Washington doing this job. It's not nearly what he's used to back in the days. Obviously, he is someone who came from law enforcement. So, I think there's a bigger story here in terms of what Bongino is thinking. But I certainly think part of what Caitlin laid out just now is partly the story here, and that is that there is some daylight between top FBI officials and top Justice Department officials over the handling of this Epstein matter. You'll remember that back in February, the Attorney General Pam Bondi led this event at the White House where they brought in all these MAGA influencers, these conservative influencers
that was
on social
so
media,
embarrassing.
and gave them with great ceremony these binders.
And they
that
look
were
so
supposed to
happy with their
contain,
folders. They look
these,
so proud.
Epstein files. Turns out, though, most of the files were actually out there.
Yeah,
for
it was
years.
just old
and so
shit.
it was a great embarrassment, both to Bondi and to FBI officials who really didn't have much role in this. And so that's where some of this begins and where you see some of the distance. And so I'll point out one quick thing that I'll.
Well, thanks, Charlotte. Charlotte Eva 289. Thanks for following me on Twitch. Appreciate it. Welcome to the stream. I'm here pretty much every day, at least Monday through Friday. I don't know if I'll do weekends right now because I'm just starting out, but I'd like to be here as much as possible. Thanks for checking out the stream.
On social media today, Todd Blanche, the Deputy Attorney General, has tried to respond to some of the pushback from Lara Loomer and some of the other, and he has basically tried to point out that Kash Patel and Don Bongino and the Justice Department leadership are all on the same page, that there is no daylight. If you look at the tweet, he says, the suggestion by anyone that there was any daylight between the FBI and DOJ leadership on this memo's composition and release is patently false. Now, he's referring to the memo that went out this week where they said there's no there, we're not releasing anything else. It's very clear, Fred, that there is daylight between the FBI and the Justice Department over the handling of this. And so we'll see how this plays out in the coming days and weeks. We don't know whether Bongino is coming back to work next week. It appears he's taken the day off. He's down in Florida somewhere. And so we don't know whether he's going to be back to work next week. But we certainly know that this is not a story that is going to go away because, as Caitlin pointed out just now, certainly MAGA world is not done with this. They want more, and they want to see more from those documents that the FBI still has.
And they should. And it shouldn't just be. This shouldn't be like a partisan issue. Everybody should want this. Unless you're on that list, everybody should fucking want this. Like what that shit that was going on there was fucked up. And there was a lot of people that seemingly are powerful U.S. citizens who were seemingly on that island doing God knows what. There should be justice. They should get these people. They should fucking find them, and they should release that fucking list.
And it is evident this is just the latest in what seems to be a litany of turmoil that we're seeing in recent days and weeks involving top leadership in this administration. All right, Evan Perez, thank you so much.
Yeah, they had the they had the Elon thing too, that didn't help, but Elon wasn't actually part of the administration. But yeah, this has just been a huge fuck up. I don't know what the fuck Trump was thinking. I don't know if he just thought like, hey, I'm just going to promise we're going to release the list and then I'm just not going to release it and people are just going to, they'll just get over it. Like, I don't think that's what he was thinking. But man, regardless, this has gone terribly. Okay, so Let me see how long this video is here. This is the 35 minutes. Yeah, let's check out this Voidzilla video on the Epstein thing.
This is the worst cover-up of my lifetime.
It is pretty bad.
This is the worst cover-up of my lifetime, the Epstein case. The reason I'm talking about it so much is because if you can get away with this, you really can get away with anything. If the government can tell people to not believe what they just said a few months ago and have everyone be fine with that, that's just a level of gaslighting that I refuse to be a part of. Never forget, they just promised us names in the release of the Epstein files.
Breaking news right now, you're going to see some Epstein information being released.
What kind?
A lot of flight logs, a lot of names, a lot of information.
But in this case, in Epstein's case, it is incredibly disturbing. We have flight logs, we have information, names that will come out.
Is it going to be shocking?
I don't see how it's not shocking that there were so many individuals that were hidden and kept secret and not been held accountable.
Yeah, well, apparently there are no names to be given. No list, no blackmail. Epstein has now been pushed as a lone trafficker. It's the lone trafficker theory, guys.
Shit. What
Essentially,
a
the
fuck up.
government's memo that they just released contradicts everything we've seen before and now basically implies that Epstein was trafficking to himself and Ghislaine Maxwell was trafficking to Epstein, and there was no other blackmail or trafficking going on. That's what this memo essentially implies. His wealth and his power then would be just from his skill as a New York financier.
I'm talking about Jeff Epstein, the New York financier.
Basically, he was the world's greatest tax advisor by day and the world's greatest trafficker at night to himself. And the rich and powerful people who all flocked to him and to his island had no idea of this double
Nobody
life.
knew.
That really is kind of the heart of the modern theory, is that just all Epstein by himself, and then his friends
One-man
just
army.
were there for his tax advice, despite not being a tax professional or a lawyer. Not only that, another huge revelation is the fact that really the government has increased the number of victims and decreased the number of perpetrators, right? We had the idea that there were these other perpetrators for a while, that they were just redacted because the government was building cases. Now we got pretty clear statements that there isn't evidence to bring future cases on third parties. But if you look at the original 2019 indictment, it says dozens of victims. This is from Ken Klippenstein. But the Epstein review says over 1,000 victims. So what happened, guys? And by the way, in the interim, they also increased the number to 200 to 250.
200 victims. 200. So we have well over 250 actually.
So we went from dozens to 200 to over 1,000 in the span of basically a year in terms of victims. We like 10x the number of victims.
And no, and it's
but
just
now
Epstein.
there's no perpetrators. Like the perpetrators have been reduced. That is the crazy thing about what they're implying here, what this lone trafficker theory is pushing forward. It's also strange because previously Epstein, in a court filing, is said to have provided information to the FBI as agreed upon. Case agent advised that no federal prosecution will occur in this matter as long as Epstein continues to uphold his agreement with the state of Florida. So apparently there was some deal where Epstein was providing information to the FBI. What information? We don't know because no one else was involved. There's also the simple fact that if you go to the FBI records, what they call the vault, most of the files are just heavily redacted. So the idea that we got some transparency wave is literally a joke. Yes, it is true. There's no Epstein list where there's like names written down, but names exist in documents, on videos, in images, and they're all redacted. What's going on here? They're going to say, oh, it's all for the victims, right? But it's not all victim names. In addition to that, this lone trafficker theory is already on shaky ground.
And where are the victims, right? I'm not saying you need to like go out and like make them public, right? I'm not saying you need to bring them out to the forefront, but in terms of like private investigation, where are the victims? Where are like, can you not get the victims? Like, can you not contact them and be all like, hey, do you recognize this face? Do you recognize like, Jesus, get like 100 of like the most richest US people and just show them their faces or something? Like, there's gotta be like, the victims had to have information. And where is it? Redact the names of the victims, yes, and identifying details. But like the overall information is critical, and yet they're not putting it out there. Something is very wrong.
When you think about Prince Andrew's settlement with Virginia Giuffre, where he paid $16 million to make civil sexual assault allegations go away. Now, of course, it's worth saying that he did not admit to guilt. This was a settlement.
They
but
never
that
admit
is
to
what
guilt.
you're always going to have with these rich
that's
and
how they always
powerful
go.
people. In the same way, you also have Leon Black.
If he admitted to guilt, he wouldn't be settling.
Who
Like, that's
reportedly
the whole
paid
point.
$158 million over 5 years to Jeffrey Epstein for tax advice. And guess what? Leon Black, billionaire, also paid the U.S. Virgin Islands $62 million in cash as part of a settlement, a non-prosecution, where they wouldn't go after him for anything from, quote, any and all claims of any nature whatsoever, specifically related to Jeffrey Epstein. It's worth noting that $15 million of this cash payment will be going to counseling programs and activities or mental health services. You also have Jess Staley, the former boss of Barclays. He directly admitted to having sex with a member of Epstein's staff, which you would expect if someone was running a trafficking operation. Although, I just have to say that there was a statement that this was entirely consensual, and I'm not saying anything about that. I'm simply saying the idea that Epstein was just trafficking for himself is unlikely to be true, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Later,
it's a
Staley
huge,
wrote
it's
to
a massive
Epstein,
long shot.
"Say hi to Snow White." Epstein replied, "What character would you like next?" Staley responded, "Beauty and the Beast."
Oh my God.
And then Jeffrey Epstein said, "Well, one side is available." Obviously, some type of coded message. You can read into that for yourself. But all of this is public. That's what I'm trying to say. That's what makes the government's memo so infuriating. Is so much reporting has already been done. These settlements with powerful figures under denials, yes, but
What do you think of? What do you think about? I woke up in the new Bugatti. I don't know what that is. Is that a video? Is that a YouTube video? I don't know. Or is that music? I have no idea.
also under very questionable circumstances, make just a complete denial and statement that all of this was just Epstein impossible to believe. In September 2009, Epstein also emailed a woman named Irina to tell her that Jess Staley is staying in the Berkeley Hotel in London tonight. Staley emailed Epstein the next day to say, "I should have taken your offer," according to the Times. There's also this book by one of the 60 Minutes correspondents called A Ticking Clock, where he says that he met with Ghislaine Maxwell, and he said, "I want the tapes," I said to Maxwell at a table at Regency Bar. "I know he was videotaping everyone. I want the tape of Trump with the girls."
Oh my
She didn't deny the
God.
existence of the tapes, but said, "I don't know where they are." He apparently replied, "Ask Epstein," and she gave him a stern look and pointed a finger at my face. "I'm the daughter of a press baron. I know the way you people think. If you do one side, you must do the other. If you get tapes on Trump, you have to do Clinton." Now, again, what you make of a third-hand source like this, talking to Ghislaine Maxwell, who apparently doesn't deny that some of these tapes exist, was she even telling the truth or just playing some game?
I mean,
either way,
yeah,
this
who
was
knows?
all known about, not just by people after the fact, but allegedly by people during the fact. This is from Mark Epstein. It's sourced from Jeffrey Epstein. Quote, "If I said what I know about both candidates, they'd have to cancel the election." That's what Jeffrey told me in 2016. So not even Jeffrey Epstein or Ghislaine Maxwell allegedly were claiming this was all just between them. They were constantly
Oh my
insinuating
God.
that there were compromising things on various powerful people. What's funny is that...
And it's hard to know exactly. I mean, you know, it's hard to know exactly what compromising things those are, right? Because just because they have compromising information doesn't mean that it's exactly what people are imagining it to be. But man, it does not look good. And the thing that makes this all so much worse is not all of the stuff that's out there that he's pointing out, that Epstein said and, you know, Maxwell said and this and that. It's not even that. It's the fact that Trump says, we're going to release the files. They're hiding some shit. We're going to release the files. When you see those files, it's going to be crazy. It's going to change the world. And then he gets power and he goes, yeah, there's no files. Sorry, the files don't exist. The files you're looking for are not here. They don't exist. That's what makes this look so freaking bad. And it makes all this other, tertiary, side stuff, all of a sudden it makes you think, maybe this is as bad as, as you think, as you'd imagine. Maybe there was something going on here. Because Trump is certainly not making himself look good right now. And neither did Biden.
Trump himself, even before he was in a position to declassify this stuff, had accused other powerful people of doing these things.
Bill Clinton.
Nice guy. Got a lot of problems coming up, in my opinion, with the famous island with Jeffrey Epstein.
That island was
Holy
really
shit.
a cesspool. There's no question about it. Just ask Prince Andrew.
You also have the fact that Jeffrey Epstein was in touch with other convicted pedophiles.
And he's just calling them out. He's just like, hey, he's ratting them out. But, interestingly enough, like Clinton could have came out and he could have been all like, well, actually the person that's, he's trying to talk shit about me, but actually it was Trump that was on the island. Like Prince Andrew could have come out and said, hey, it's actually Trump that was on the island. So I don't fucking know. Who knows? Just search it, please. How about this? Tomorrow add it to the watch list, and then we'll watch it tomorrow. It's got to be probably a video. But yeah, we'll watch it tomorrow because like it's my time is almost up, and this is gonna be the last video. I'm trying to start a little bit earlier, but somehow something always happens.
Larry Nassar, he was writing letters. So the idea, once again, that he was just by himself, off by himself, doing things on his island by himself, and then taking calls with people like Bill Gates simply for philanthropic advice, really pushes the bounds of belief.
It was tax
Don't
advice.
forget, a close associate of Bill Gates was named a fallback executor.
Wait, what? Over time, Gates and his team realized Epstein's capabilities and ideas were not legitimate, and all contact with Epstein was discontinued. Days before Mr. Epstein hanged himself in a Manhattan jail cell on August 10th, he amended his will and named Mr. Nikolic as a fallback executor in the event that one of the two primary executors was unable to serve.
On the will of Jeffrey Epstein, which he, by the way,
Okay, we'll
said
take
he
a
was
look at it
shocked
after.
by, and he deeply
Oops. Okay, we'll take a look at it after this video.
Jeffrey Epstein, which he, by the way, said he was shocked by and he deeply regrets, meaning Epstein. Bill Gates has said similar things to that effect. Of course, Bill Gates fraternized with Epstein after he was convicted of crimes.
Wow.
Previously, he told the Wall Street Journal, I didn't have any business relationship or friendship with him.
Sure.
But in fact, he met multiple times with him at his Manhattan townhouse.
Oh, gee, I wonder why. But they're not friends, though. Clearly, it was for tax purposes, especially after he was convicted of sex crimes. Gee, I wonder why. Could it be that Mr. Gates maybe was like, hey, man, you've been convicted, and it's like, hey, can you just, like, not... Yeah, any stuff that we did, I mean, maybe I was in the island, maybe not. Can you just, like, not, don't bring any of that up? Any papers, any incriminating evidence, maybe, yeah, get that taken care of before things get even worse. I don't know. I'm just spitballing. But man, it does not look good for Mr. Gates either.
Now, once again, I have to say real quick, all of these people are innocent until proven guilty.
Yes,
all of them deny
absolutely.
doing anything untoward. But my point is, there are already too many associations to make the lone trafficker theory make any sense. For example, Jean-Luc Brunel was somebody who apparently trafficked a bunch of people to Epstein, who himself abused a bunch of women and even was charged for it.
Wow.
He was charged for some really awful things and then later found dead in his cell. Interestingly, Epstein was actually a
Found dead in his cell. Does that ring a bell? Is it me, or like did that happen before? Didn't that happen to somebody? Somebody related to this? Huh. Huh.
Financier of Brunel's modeling agency, where a lot of this alleged abuse happened. So once again, the idea of the lone trafficker just doesn't make sense because Epstein's directly linked to another guy who was also abusing women. So after all of this, they're really asking you to believe the unbelievable.
Yeah,
They're asking
it's
you
not
to
looking
not
good, man.
believe what they've said about this case, both out of office and now in power. They're asking you to not believe public reporting linking Epstein to other known files. They're asking you not to believe suspicious circumstances regarding settlements of powerful people. They're asking you to believe that Epstein was just the greatest tax advisor and financial advisor on the planet that all of these billionaires needed to consult, despite the fact that there are entire organizations built around providing the same services as this without
So much
the,
shaky ground.
links to crimes. They're asking you to believe that when people are talking about Snow White and Beauty and the Beast, they're referencing Disneyland. And they're especially asking you to believe that they have found 900 new victims since reviewing these files.
And they were all just
and
for
exactly
Epstein.
0 new perpetrators.
Yeah, it was just Epstein. One man
I'm
army.
just not buying it personally. I find it insulting to the intelligence of every single person who's ever looked at this story. And
yeah,
it really makes me feel like this was a appropriate time to launch a crime is legal merch collection, to be honest. So yeah, this is probably my last video on this for a while, but just disgusting.
It is absolutely effed, man. It is absolutely effed up. And the whole thing that like, oh yeah, Epstein like killed himself, you know, yeah, just like this other guy, apparently he was just found dead. Oh, it just happened to kill himself. You know, it's just so much shit that's just like the foundation is completely like it's made out of fucking straw. And you're supposed to think, oh yeah, no, actually this is gonna stand up to scrutiny, right? Like this is gonna like when they say actually there's nothing to see here, you're supposed to go, oh yeah, of course, it all makes sense. People need to keep inquiring. They need to keep inquiring. They need to keep fucking inquiring forever until freaking something comes out. Okay, let's take a look at this. So you said I woke up in a new body. This is a no, that's not it. Is it this? 2 years old? How long is this? 14 seconds? I love South Park. Oh, I remember that episode. So it's probably this one. I'm thinking it's probably this one here. It's probably this one. Or is it oh, this one's got 49 million views. It's probably that one. Okay. Check this out. Where's the sound? Oh man, I hope this doesn't like trigger this is licensed music, so I hope this doesn't trigger the YouTube DMCA. Because I'm streaming on YouTube. Ironically, I can't watch YouTube shorts on YouTube. Because these are only licensed for music is only licensed for shorts. Okay. Okay. Okay, so I see the guy was wearing green. Okay, nice. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a silly thing. Pure talent, no words. And I'm glad that she didn't just do it and like this, and then that's just a short. She actually added the guy with the green screen. That makes it so much funnier with the green suit. Cool video. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That was neat. But yeah, that's gonna be all for today. I'm hoping. See, I started today at like 6:30, but actually it was probably a little bit later. I'm hoping to start a little bit earlier. Yeah, my inner peace. Is that the? Is that her name? I don't know what that is. My ears are healing now. That's good. That's good. Um, Butagi. But yeah, yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching, guys. Evelyn. Um, thanks for hanging out. And oh wow, deport, deport non-whites. 89 followed me on Twitch. Thanks, bro. Appreciate it. Funny name. Um, thanks for following. Welcome to the stream. I'm gonna be hopping off for now though. I do want to start earlier streaming, but I do want to end it around this time. And yeah, I'm gonna be working on a YouTube video. I gotta put out a YouTube video that I still haven't finished. You can check out my YouTube channel for more of me, and my Twitter, and my bots. So thanks for hanging out, guys. Don't react on the short. React on the song. I can't react on the song because it's like DMCA. It's like um, since I'm streaming on YouTube, it's gonna be this big old problem. Um, and I even the I don't even know how I can fix it now, but it's okay. Either way, uh, yeah, but I can't actually react to the song. I would have to like end the YouTube, um, and then like only do it on like Kick, because Kick is fine with this stuff. It's just the other places that are not. Um, but yeah, thanks for following, guys. Charlotte Eva 289, Deport Deport non W's 89. Thanks for following, bro. Um, Evelyn, thanks for hanging out, and I will catch you all tomorrow for next time I see you. But I'll be here tomorrow. Uh, thank you very much, and peace. Sing this song for you. I don't even know how the song goes. Let me see. What's it called? Right. Okay. Yeah. I already had that here. Okay, let me see. I don't even know I don't even know how it goes. um, Genius. Okay. So, intro, Future and Ace Hood. We the motherfucking best nigga. Am I allowed to say this on Twitter? I mean on Twitch? I don't know. I don't know how they are about this stuff. Ace Hood, Super Future. I come looking for you with Haitians. I stay smoking on good Jamaican. I fuck bitches on different races. You get money, they started hating. Turn up. I woke up in a new Bugatti. Yeah. I woke up in a new Bugatti. Whoa, skirt. I woke up in a new Bugatti. Whoa, turn up. I woke up in a new Bugatti. Whoa. I woke up in a new Bugatti. Woo. Okay. I don't even know if I can say this word here on Twitch. I know they're weird about shit like this. Okay, ninjas be hating. I'm rich as a bitch. 100K. I spent that on my wrist. $200 spent that on your bitch. Do me a model. Put that on my list. Oh, there he go in that foreign again. Killing the scene. Bring the coroner in. Murder she wrote. Swallow or choke. Hit her and go. Won't call her again. Woke up early this morning. Crib as big as a college. Smoked me a pound of the loudest. Whipping some shit with no mileage. Skirt. Diamonds cost me a fortune. Them horses all in them Porsches. Whoa. You pussies can't afford it. Yeah. 4,200 my mortgage. Yeah. Balling on ninjas like Kobe. Yeah. Fuck all you haters. You bore me. Woo. Only the real get a piece of the plate. Rapping my city, I'm running my state. Give me a pistol, then run with the K's. Ninjas want beef, then I visit your place. Bang. I come looking for you with Haitians. I stay smoking on good Jamaican. I fuck bitches on different races. From different races, you get money, they started hating. Turn up. I woke up in a new Bugatti. Skur, have some true feeling. That's enough. Thank you so much. So yeah, there you have it. There you have it. I hope that was very entertaining. But yeah, I will catch you all next time I see you. I'll be on tomorrow. Thanks for hanging out and peace. You have a good night, Evelyn. I forgot how to do this. Where is it? Okay, here. All right. Peace.